2 and 29. And this is what the Lord, this is what Peter said about David. Go ahead.
Men and brethren, let me freely speak unto you of the patriarch David, that he is both dead and buried, and his sepulchre is with us unto this day.
He said, let me freely speak about David. He said he is both dead and he's still in the ground. And his grave is with us to this very day. He ain't in heaven, but he is a man after God's own heart. How can Sister Willie Mae beat David, who was a man after his own heart?
It can't happen.
It can't happen. But skip down to verse 34 and let it be said again. Go ahead.
For David is not ascended into the heavens.
David is not ascended into the heavens. Go ahead.
But he saith himself, the Lord said unto my Lord, sit thou on my right hand.
That's good. David is what? Not ascended into the heavens. Now let's go back to St. John, the 13th chapter. St. John 13. And I just want... No, I don't even think I want that. We know that Jesus said, whether I go, you cannot. Let's go to the 3rd chapter of St. John. St. John 3rd chapter. And I just want one verse. This stopped David and it stopped Sister Willie Mae, Grandma Jones, Papa Jones, all of them. Because this is an absolute. 3 and 13. This is an absolute. This is what Jesus said. He told you. He said, "Whether I go, you cannot go." Right? Yep. So you can't go to heaven. But let's see why he said that. Go ahead.
And no man hath ascended up to heaven, but he that came down from heaven, even the Son of Man which is in heaven.
So no man has ascended to heaven, but the one that came down from heaven, that was sent from heaven, even Jesus himself. That is clear. But let's go right on into the 14th chapter of St. John. We're almost out of here. You said, fine. That brother's long-winded. Yeah, I am long-winded. I'm honest. Yeah, I am long-winded. But I'm going to tell you something about my being long-winded. I got to stop being long-winded. But I know y'all got something out of this.
Yes, absolutely.
Verse 1. St. John 14 and 1. St. John 14 and 1. Go ahead.
Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me.
This is Jesus saying. He said, don't be troubled. Don't worry about it. He said, you believe in God? Believe in me also, because I'm God also. Go ahead.
In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you.
So he told you, where I go, you can't come, right? Where did he go to? He went to heaven. He said, I go to prepare a place for you. So that means he went to heaven, right? Go ahead.
And if I go and prepare a place for you.
And if I go to heaven and prepare a place for you, go ahead.
I will come again.
He said, I will what?
Come again.
Come again. So where is he now then when he comes again?
Earth.
Back here on the earth. Go ahead.
And receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also.
Now, keep that thought. Let's go to Zechariah the 16th chapter. I just want one verse there. Zechariah 1 and verse 16. And we're going to let the book talk. Zechariah 1 and verse 16. you read this Zechariah 1, Lord will tell you that he was jealous for Jerusalem. All the stuff that he wants to do because he wants to get the wicked out of the land. He wants to come back to Jerusalem. But he told you, if I go, I will come again and receive you unto myself. That where I am, there ye may be also. Didn't we read what the Lord said? It's in Zephaniah, it said, the Lord in the midst of us. All this is consistent, sisters and brothers. The Lord has set up the earth to be inhabited forever. Verse 16, Zechariah 1 and 16. Go ahead.
Therefore thus saith the Lord, I am returned to Jerusalem with mercy. My house shall be built in it, saith the Lord of hosts, and the line shall be stretched forth upon Jerusalem.
And David said he wasn't going to sleep until he found a place for the Lord, for the Lord's tabernacle. That being said, he also said a place for the Lord's rest. Jesus said, if I go, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you may be also. Then we just read, he said, Jesus said, I returned. That means he came back. That's what this is saying. And he said, his house is going to be built. That means his home, his habitation, his place of rest, his footstool where he will stand on the latter day, sisters and brothers. Now, let's go right into the second chapter of Zechariah. Pick it up at verse 3. Zechariah 2 and verse 3. And we got two scriptures after this. Zechariah 2 and 3. Go ahead.
And behold, the angel that talked with me went forth, and another angel went out to meet him, and said unto him, Run, speak to this young man, saying, Jerusalem shall be inhabited as towns without walls, for the multitude of men and cattle therein.
And the Lord told the land in Ezekiel the 36th chapter that men and beasts were going to be multiplied on the land, right? That's what he told. This is the promise. This is still part of what the Lord told Abraham. He gave Abraham the land forever. That means he's got to have everything that goes with that land. Go ahead.
5. For I, saith the Lord, will be unto her a wall of fire round about, and I will be the glory in the midst of her.
Ain't nobody going to bother. Go ahead.
Ho, ho, come forth and flee from the land of the north, saith the Lord. For I have spread you abroad as the four winds of the heaven, saith the Lord.
So skip down to verse 10. Go ahead.
Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Zion, for lo, I've come and I will dwell in the midst of thee, saith the Lord.
He's told you again. He said, I'm going to come, but I'm going to dwell in the midst of you, saith the Lord. Go ahead.
And many nations shall be joined to the Lord in that day, and shall be my people.
That's many other nations, not just Israel, all the other sons and daughters of Adam who want to hold on to this covenant. Go ahead.
And I will dwell in the midst of thee, and thou shalt know that the Lord of hosts hath sent me unto thee. And the Lord shall inherit Judah, his portion in the Holy Land, and shall choose Jerusalem again.
Didn't we read in Psalm, the 2nd chapter, where Jesus said, he said, the Father said unto me, I will give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth. He told him that. This is consistent. It is all part of the circumcision. This is part of the promise that the Lord has made to us, sisters and brothers. But let's go to Luke, the 13th chapter. Luke 13. His portion is Judah, yeah, because he came out of Judah. But he's inheriting the whole earth. Luke 13. Now we're going to fast forward this. Well, fast forward to the 1,000 years of rest. This is past. Gog and Magog came and surrounded Jerusalem, camp of the saints. Father sent fire down from heaven and burnt them up. Judgment day is here. This is this scenario. But the Lord is trying to encourage us to be obedient, keep the commandments. This is what it means by striving to enter the straight gate. Go ahead. 24, 13 and 24. I'm sorry.
Strive to enter in at the straight gate. For many, I say unto you, will seek to enter in and shall not be able.
Why? Because they have made flesh. They have humbled themselves to flesh as opposed to walking in the spirit. They have been disobedient as opposed to being obedient. Go ahead.
When once the master of the house is risen up and have shut to the door, and ye begin to stand without and to knock at the door, saying, Lord, Lord, open unto us. And he shall answer and say unto you, I know you not whence ye are.
He said, he gonna say, I don't know. Because your works made me not know you. I didn't want to see you. The Lord said he's gonna get rid of the wicked out of the land. But not only that, just in life period, people have been wicked. They did not make themselves known to the Lord by doing righteousness. They were wicked people. Skip over to verse 28. Go ahead. This is what's going to happen.
There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth when ye shall see Abraham and Isaac and Jacob.
Wait a minute. You're going to see Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's who the covenant was made with, right? Go ahead.
And all the prophets in the kingdom of God, and you yourselves thrust out.
Go ahead.
And they shall come from the east, and from the west, and from the north, and from the south, and shall sit down in the kingdom of God.
He said they're going to come from all over, north, south, east, and west. That's on the earth, sisters and brothers. They're going to come from all over, and they're going to sit down in the kingdom of God. Now, let's go to Leviticus 26 chapter. Leviticus 26 chapter. The New Testament Christians, they don't have a clue what's going on. They say that they believe in the Lord, and then they want to tell you that the old book has been fulfilled. But yet and still, we're going to go to what we almost just finished reading about just now, into this. This is still yet to happen. We're going to pick this up at verse 33. We're going to read how some of the stuff, how we got, Israel got put into this and dispersed. And we're going to see how the Lord is going to gather us back again. Verse 33, go ahead.
And I will scatter you among the heathen, and will draw out a sword after you, and your land shall be desolate, and your cities waste.
And it is.
Then shall the land enjoy her Sabbaths, as long as it lieth desolate.
So the land is going to enjoy a Sabbath as long as it lies desolate. In other words, as long as you ain't there, the land is going to enjoy a Sabbath. Go ahead.
And ye be in your enemy's land. Even then shall the land rest and enjoy her Sabbath.
So when you're in your enemy's land, even then shall the land rest and enjoy her Sabbath. It's enjoying her Sabbath because guess what? Them people over there keep the Sabbath. They don't do so. Go ahead.
As long as it lie desolate, it shall rest, because it did not rest in your Sabbaths when ye dwelt upon it.
So when you dwelt on it, you just made it. You didn't do it right. Go ahead.
And upon them that are left alive of you, I will send a faintness into their hearts in the lands of their enemies. And the sound of a shaking leaf shall chase them, and they shall flee as fleeing from a sword. And they shall fall when none pursue it.
Then this is the thing that's happening because we always win because there's always drama in our neighborhood. Walk down the street, sisters and brothers, sometimes in your neighborhood, not their neighborhood, your neighborhood. There's always something going on. And you're walking around looking behind you. You're all ears, you're all eyes, trying to pay attention to what's happening. To make sure somebody don't sneak upon you. This is in your neighborhood. Go ahead.
And
matter of fact, skip down to verse 38. Go ahead.
And ye shall perish among the heathen, and the land of your enemies shall eat you up.
This is happening to y'all, folks. Go ahead.
And then our left of you shall pine away in their iniquity in your enemies' lands. And also in the iniquities of their fathers shall they pine away with them. If they shall confess their iniquity and the iniquity of their fathers with their trespass which they trespassed against me, and that also they have walked contrary unto me.
So he said in 39, he said, you're going to pine away in your iniquities. In other words, you're not going to find the Lord and you're going to pine away. I'm saying still pay attention to what's happening out here, sisters and brothers. Look at Israel. This is not talking about the stranger. This is talking about Israel. Look at us. Just melting away. Just melting away. We came down the street a little while ago and we see people nodding on the street, standing there nodding. Because they steeped in drugs. Poverty. Wickedness. They can't get out of wickedness. They are destroying themselves. They are pining away. They are slowly melting away. Getting small, getting skinny, dying, standing there being sticks, walking, talking, dying, pining away in wickedness. But it said, for those who was maybe the Lord has blessed you. He said, but if they shall confess their iniquity and the iniquity of their fathers with their trespass, in other words, what they did, that they sinned against God, and I've sinned against God. Lord, help me. And that they walk contrary to the Lord. Go ahead.
And that I also have walked contrary unto them.
Go ahead.
And have brought them into the land of their enemies. If then their uncircumcised hearts be humble.
He said, then if your uncircumcised heart be humble. Go ahead.
And they then accept of the punishment of their iniquity.
What's he going to do?
Then will I remember my covenant with Jacob. And also my covenant with Isaac.
Go ahead.
And also my covenant with Abraham will I remember. And I will remember the land.
He said, then after all that, I will remember my covenant with Jacob, with Isaac, and with Abraham. And last but not least, he said, I will remember the land. Why? Because I was your God. Because you obeyed me. You humbled yourself to me. This is what the Lord is saying. This is what your promise is, sisters and brothers. The Lord is intent on giving you a place to live, a place where you're not going to be moved, a place where you can enjoy one another in life like the Lord intended it to be lived. This is what the Lord is saying. Get the promise that the Lord promised to you, sisters and brothers. I thank you for your time.